I spent 14 months living a double life, sneaking around like a teenager, lying to my own children, all because I was terrified of what people would say about a widow dating again. My name is Katherine Montgomery, and I'm 61 years old now. 2 years ago, at 59, I did something that felt both thrilling and shameful at the same time. I fell in love. Real, deep, consuming love. The kind I thought I'd never feel again after my husband Daniel passed away when I was 57. But here's what nobody tells you about finding love after loss at our age. The world has opinions. Your children have opinions. Your neighbors, your church friends, even the checkout lady at the grocery store. They all have opinions about what a widow should or shouldn't do. So I hid him. I hid Robert like he was some guilty secret instead of the wonderful man who made me feel alive again. I made him park his car down the street. I never held his hand in public. I invented elaborate lies about where I was going. And then one day, something happened that made me realize just how absolutely ridiculous I'd become. When Daniel died of a sudden heart attack in our kitchen on a Tuesday morning, I thought my life was over too. We'd been married for 34 years. He was my high school sweetheart, my best friend, the father of our 3 children. The grief was so heavy I could barely breathe for months. I went through the motions, funeral arrangements, thank you cards, sorting through his clothes, but I was hollow inside. My children rallied around me. Jennifer, my oldest at 33, practically moved back in for the first 6 months. Michael, 31, called every single day, and Sarah, my baby, at 28, would show up unannounced just to make sure I was eating. They were wonderful. They were suffocating. They wrapped me in so much protective love that I started to feel like a fragile antique vase they were afraid would shatter. Slowly, I learned to live again. I joined a book club, started volunteering at the community center, took up watercolor painting, something I'd always wanted to try. By the time I was 59, I'd built a small, quiet life that felt manageable, safe. Lonely, if I'm being honest, but safe. That's when I met Robert at a charity fundraiser for the local animal shelter. He was 62, a retired architect who'd lost his wife to cancer 3 years earlier. We were both standing awkwardly by the punch bowl, clearly not knowing anyone else at the event. He made a joke about the terrible hors d'oeuvres. I laughed, really laughed, for the first time in what felt like years. We talked for 2 hours straight that night about our spouses, our losses, our children, our dreams. There was no pressure, no expectation. Just 2 people who understood what it meant to rebuild a life from ruins. When he asked if he could call me sometime, I surprised myself by saying yes. Our first date was coffee at a little cafe 3 towns over. I told myself I drove that far because they had the best scones, not because I was afraid of being seen. Robert was a gentleman, kind, funny, genuinely interested in everything I had to say. When he walked me to my car and asked if he could see me again, my heart did something I thought it had forgotten how to do. It fluttered. We started seeing each other regularly. Coffee dates turned into dinner dates. Dinner dates turned into long walks in parks far from my neighborhood. He was patient, understanding about my need to take things slow. What he didn't know was that my slow had nothing to do with my feelings for him, and everything to do with my fear. Fear of what my children would think. Fear of what it meant to move on from Daniel. Fear of the whispers I imagined everywhere I went. Did you see Katherine Montgomery with another man? Daniel's barely been gone 2 years. How inappropriate. So I kept Robert hidden, tucked away in a separate compartment of my life like something shameful I needed to protect everyone else from. The lies started small. I'm going to book club when I was really meeting Robert for dinner. I have a doctor's appointment when we were spending the afternoon at a botanical garden 2 counties away. The community center needs extra volunteers tonight. when Robert and I were watching old movies at his house, curled up on his couch like teenagers. I became an expert at deception. I kept my phone face down constantly. I'd change Robert's name in my contacts to Rita, just in case one of my kids glanced at my screen. When he sent me sweet text messages, I'd read them in the bathroom with the door locked, smiling like a fool, then immediately delete them. I lived in constant fear of being caught, of having to explain, of seeing disappointment in my children's eyes. Robert never complained, not once. He said he understood, that he'd wait as long as I needed. But I could see it hurt him. The way his face would fall when I'd pull away if we saw someone I might know. The sadness in his eyes when I told him he couldn't come to my house because Sarah had a habit of dropping by unannounced. The forced smile when I said no, we couldn't attend his friend's wedding together because someone might mention it to Jennifer. "Katherine," he said to me one evening after I ducked behind a display at the grocery store because I'd spotted my neighbor, "I love you, but I won't be your secret forever. I'm not ashamed of us. You shouldn't be either." But I was ashamed. Not of Robert, God, never of Robert. I was ashamed of myself for wanting happiness again, for feeling butterflies at 59, for betraying Daniel's memory, or at least that's what the voice in my head kept telling me. Every time Robert held my hand, I heard my mother-in-law's voice. A proper widow waits at least 5 years. Every time I laughed at Robert's jokes, I saw Daniel's face and felt crushing guilt. The double life exhausted me. I was constantly calculating risks, planning alibis, measuring distances. Could I go to that restaurant, or was it too close to home? Could I invite Robert to this event, or would there be people who knew me? I turned down his invitations more than I accepted them. I canceled plans at the last minute because one of my kids wanted to visit. I made him feel like an option instead of a priority. And he stayed. This patient, wonderful man stayed with me through 14 months of hiding, sneaking, and lying. He stayed through missed opportunities and last-minute cancellations. He stayed, even though I could see I was breaking his heart a little more each day. Then came the Tuesday that changed everything. The day I realized that in trying to protect everyone else's feelings, I'd been destroying the best thing that had happened to me since Daniel died. The day I finally understood what a complete fool I'd been. It was an ordinary Tuesday afternoon. I was at the farmer's market, the one place I felt safe being myself because it was far enough from my neighborhood. Robert and I were walking hand in hand, laughing about something silly, when I heard it. That voice that made my blood run cold. "Mom? Mom, is that you?" I dropped Robert's hand so fast you'd think it had burned me. I spun around to see Jennifer standing there with her 2 kids, my grandchildren, staring at me with the most confused expression I'd ever seen on her face. My heart stopped. My carefully constructed walls came crashing down in an instant. "Jennifer, what are you doing here?" My voice came out high and guilty, like a child caught stealing cookies. "We come here every other Tuesday, Mom. You know that." Her eyes moved from me to Robert, then back to me. "Who's this?" I stood there frozen, my mouth opening and closing like a fish out of water. This was it, the moment I'd been dreading for 14 months. All my worst fears materializing right in front of the organic vegetable stand. Robert, bless him, extended his hand. "I'm Robert. It's nice to meet you, Jennifer. Your mother has told me wonderful things about you." Jennifer shook his hand automatically, but her eyes never left my face. "How long has this been going on, Mom?" It's not... I couldn't form a complete sentence. The panic was suffocating me. "Grandma, who's that man?" my 7-year-old grandson asked, tugging on Jennifer's sleeve. "Just a friend, sweetie," Jennifer said, but her tone was ice. "Mom, can I talk to you? Alone?" What happened next still makes me cringe with shame.
Instead of standing my ground, instead of introducing Robert properly and owning my choices, I turned to him with apologetic eyes and whispered, "I'm so sorry. I need to handle this. Can you just go, please?" The look on Robert's face shattered me. It wasn't anger. It was resignation, like he'd been expecting this all along, like he'd finally reached his limit. "Of course," he said quietly. "It was nice meeting you, Jennifer." Then he looked at me one last time, and I saw something in his eyes I'd never seen before. Defeat. "Goodbye, Katherine. Not, 'I'll call you later' or 'see you soon.' Just goodbye." He walked away, and I watched him go. This man who'd been patient and kind and loving for over a year, disappearing into the crowd, while I stood there like a coward. Jennifer grabbed my arm. "Mom, we need to talk now." Her voice was sharp, angry. "How could you not tell us you were seeing someone? How long has this been going on? What would Dad think?" And there it was, the question I'd been afraid of all along. What would Dad think?
Jennifer drove me back to my house in tense silence, the kids confused in the back seat. Once we got there and she'd set them up with tablets in the living room, she turned on me with tears in her eyes. "How could you, Mom? How could you sneak around behind our backs? Were you ashamed of us? Did you think we wouldn't understand?" "No, honey, it's not like that." "Then what is it like? Because from where I'm standing, my mother has been lying to me for God knows how long. Who is he? How did you meet him? How long has this been going on?" The words poured out of me then. All of it. The fundraiser, the coffee dates, the 14 months of hiding. But as I spoke, something shifted inside me. Hearing myself explain why I'd kept Robert's secret made me realize how absolutely absurd it all sounded. "I was afraid," I admitted, my voice breaking. "Afraid you'd think I was betraying your father. Afraid of what people would say. Afraid I was being selfish for wanting to be happy again." Jennifer stared at me, and then her face softened in a way I didn't expect. "Mom, Dad has been gone for over 2 years. Did you really think we wanted you to be alone forever? That we wanted you to spend the rest of your life mourning? But it's only been 2 years. Your grandmother always said—" "Mom, stop. Just stop." Jennifer sat down beside me and took my hands. "We've been worried sick about you. You've been alone in this big house, putting on a brave face, but we could see how lonely you were. If you found someone who makes you happy, that's wonderful. That's what Dad would have wanted." Her words hit me like a sledgehammer. "What?" "Dad would want you to be happy. He loved you, Mom. He'd hate knowing you were suffering alone because you thought moving on meant you didn't love him enough." Tears streamed down her face now. "I'm not mad that you're dating someone. I'm hurt that you didn't trust us enough to tell us, that you thought you had to hide it like something shameful." I broke down then. Really broke down. All the guilt, the fear, the exhaustion of living a double life came pouring out. "I've been such a fool," I sobbed. "I treated Robert like a dirty secret when he's the most wonderful man. He was so patient with me, and I just sent him away. I watched him walk away, and I did nothing. What have I done?" "Then you need to fix it, Mom. You need to stop worrying about what everyone else thinks and start worrying about what you want. Do you love him?" "Yes," I whispered. "Yes, I love him so much it terrifies me." "Then go get him, right now, before it's too late." But was it already too late? I'd seen the defeat in Robert's eyes. heard the finality in his goodbye. After 14 months of making him hide, of treating him like he didn't matter, of choosing my fear over his feelings, would he even want me back? I drove to Robert's house with my heart pounding so hard I thought it might burst through my chest. It was late afternoon, the sun casting long shadows across his driveway. His car was there. He was home. But would he even open the door for me? I rang the doorbell 3 times before he answered. When he did, the look on his face nearly destroyed me. His eyes were red. He'd been crying because of me. This strong, dignified man had been crying because I'd hurt him one too many times. "Katherine," he said quietly, "what are you doing here?" "I'm done hiding," I said, my voice shaking but determined. "I'm done being afraid. I'm done caring what anyone thinks. Robert, I have been the biggest fool. I treated you like you were something to be ashamed of when you're the best thing that's happened to me in years. I made you park down the street. I made you pretend we were strangers. I sent you away today when I should have held your hand tighter and introduced you proudly to my daughter." "Katherine, please let me finish. I was so terrified of what people would say, of betraying Daniel's memory, of my children's judgment, that I forgot the most important thing. Life is too short for this nonsense. I lost Daniel suddenly, without warning, and it taught me that we don't get guarantees. We don't get forever. And I've wasted 14 months of the time we could have had together because I was worried about what the checkout lady at the grocery store might think." Tears were streaming down my face now. "My daughter told me today that Daniel would want me to be happy, and she's right, he would. He'd be furious if he knew I was living like this, scared and small and apologetic for wanting love again. I'm 61 years old, Robert. I'm done apologizing for being alive. I'm done hiding the man I love." Robert's eyes widened. "You love me?" "Of course I love you. I've loved you for months, but I was too much of a coward to say it out loud because saying it made it real. And real things are scary when you've already lost everything once." I took a step closer. "But you know what's scarier? Losing you because I was too worried about other people's opinions. I don't want to be that person anymore. I want to hold your hand in public. I want to introduce you to my children properly. I want to bring you to church and the grocery store and every single place I've been hiding from. I want to stop being ashamed of the most beautiful thing in my life." Robert stood there for a long moment, and I held my breath, terrified I'd broken us beyond repair. Then slowly, so slowly, a smile spread across his face. He reached out and took my hand, right there in his open doorway where any of his neighbors could see. "It's about damn time, Katherine Montgomery," he whispered, pulling me into his arms. "It's about damn time."
And now, I want to talk to you, sitting there on the other side of the screen, who listened to this story until the end. What did you think of Katherine's journey? Have you ever hidden a part of yourself because you were afraid of judgment? Have you ever let fear steal your happiness? This story is real. The names and locations have been changed to protect the privacy of those involved, but the emotions, the struggles, the courage it took to finally choose love over fear, all of that is absolutely true. Katherine's story reminds us that it's never too late to stop living for other people's approval. Whether you're 60, 70, 80, or beyond, your happiness matters. Your love matters. You deserve to live authentically, without shame, without hiding. If this story touched your heart, please subscribe to our channel, Real Hearts After 60. Hit that notification bell so you never miss stories of real people finding courage, love, and second chances later in life. Share this video with someone who needs to hear it, and leave a comment below telling us your story. We're listening. Remember, it's never too late to choose yourself.